Seth is coming to do one episode of the show where he plays my first kiss from when I was 12. And then we fell out of touch for about 18 years, and then he comes to visit me in New York City. I had known Seth for a couple of years, and then this past May, I was in his movie, The End of the World, that comedy he wrote and he stars in about the apocalypse, and I got to hang out with him for like about a week. And he's so much fun, and we get along so well, that I thought it would be cool to have him on the show. And I didn't think it would be possible, because I'd be busy, but it's in this one window of time where he's editing and just kind of hanging out in LA, so he's going to come do it. We have some really fun people. We have Allison Williams from the show Girls, who I've liked for a really long time. She plays Danny's girlfriend. And BJ Novak is coming to do 2 episodes, who is my best friend and I know from The Office. So that's been great because we wrote an episode together, and he's also playing a character that's very different than what he's in The Office. So we get to act in totally different roles, which is fun. I don't even know the answer to that. I will say that it's going to be really fun the great thing, Tommy Dewey, who played my boyfriend, was such a funny actor, so I loved working with him, but it's good to be single, like, on a show. It's fun to, like, have a new episode and there's, like, somebody new. More of the pattern of, like, the Sex and the City, where there's always fun new story and character and stuff. So we're going to do that for a while. Yeah, I think the show started where their characters are similar ages. I mean, the thing about it is that in Sex and the City, those women were really cool, and they kind of were all super pretty and had great fashion and great clothes. And I mean, my character has some great clothes, but she's just like not as like sophisticated and cool. Doesn't go to the same kind of parties. So when I compare it to Sex and the City, only in like the format, it'll be nice to have like lots of new people. But definitely the show is like a lot more. It's a lot more like awkward, and she has embarrassing situations and stuff. So I get a lot of help. My staff is full of people who are either single or they're married, but they had a really long, awkward period of dating. And they're all romantics. Everyone on the staff is like, we don't really have any cynical people on the staff, which I think is very important for the show. There's so many of the comedies now, if you're single, it's about, it's like embarrassing things happen to my character, but there's no like degradation, and I think that there's a lot of shows where they're just like, oh, just like show how awful it is, and you feel bad watching it. And they all love romantic comedies, even the guys in the show, and they really want a flawed person to have a fun life. So that's a bit like we have a sunny outlook in the writer's room, which I think is nice. Yes, we can't. You don't have one without the other. If it's just slow-mo and Ed Helms doesn't fall down the stairs, then you're like, what am I watching? Like, you start thinking like the show's kind of too into itself, or like if Mindy looks cool, yeah, like she has to like. She's at the Empire State Building looking beautiful, she's gonna like fall off of it. Otherwise, you're like, too much. Don't show us just people perfect and beautiful. At least that's what I kind of learned on The Office. So, yes, BJ Novak is coming back. He's great. Mark Duplass is gonna come back in a really funny way. We have an episode called Hooking Up, which we'd been waiting a while to do this episode. Like someone who dates a lot probably gets to these situations where they're hooking up. So we have a very funny, extremely awkward episode about Mindy's attempt to have a great hookup relationship. And the episodes in January and February are so funny and so good. And I really hope people tune in.